Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my Drill With Me holiday diamond painting. Does that make sense? No. Okay, it's my holiday diamond painting Drill With Me. There we go. Okay, so anyway, sorry. I have recorded this video and, well, something happened and I happened to look up to see how much time I had, and it had stopped at 30 minutes. So, yeah, I was like, how in the heck? So, anyway, but again, this is my holiday diamond painting Drill With Me, and my disclaimer is this video is not for kids. This is a crafting channel that is not for children under the ages of 18. So, that being said, let's diamond paint. This is my paint with diamonds diamond painting called Christmas Ornament Reflection. Yeah. And I am on this little section down here. So let's craft. Pull your crocheting out, your payment number, your coloring, your cross stitch, or your diamond paintings, and let's diamond paint and talk about Christmas, how Thanksgiving, whatever. So, is everybody ready for Thanksgiving? I am. Only except now it's just going to be me and little dude because Miranda and Justin have gone to each to a friend's house. So, they won't be here. They'll be here now. Miranda will be home tomorrow night, but they won't be here until Justin, he's not sure what day. He kind of didn't want to like tell me, oh, I'll be home, Thursday night, when in all in fact he probably won't be home until, Friday. And he said, but if he excuse me, if his plans change, he's going to call me. And he's gotten really good now about communicating with me instead of just leaving me hanging. Because there's been a couple of times that he's done that, where he's gone out with friends and then, oh, he tells me he's going to be home at a certain time. And then I don't see him. And, I call him or message him and he doesn't answer. So he's gotten really good about it. And so he's just kind of, at first he didn't want to do it. He was like, Mom, he's a laid back person. He doesn't get into a lot of trouble, at least this year. He's been pretty good this year. And so when he told me that he was, going to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, I kind of, my feelings were kind of hurt because, all their lives, especially Miranda's and Justin's, basically, it's just been us. And to me, that's what Thanksgiving is, spending time with your family. And, but now, they're an adult and eventually they're going to have their own lives where, they could be out of state, living their own lives and not necessarily be able to come see me all the time, if that makes any sense. So I had to learn to cut the apron strings on that little thing. But I told them both, I said, well, you guys can do whatever it is you want to do for Thanksgiving. I said, but Christmas is mine. You guys, you know how I am. So They were like, yeah, we know. And I'll explain um what I meant by that in just a second. I gotta scratch my eye. Oh, oh, itchy. Goodness, excuse me. Um, I know there's been a lot of you that probably heard me talk about my grandfather, and those of you that are new subscribers and haven't, um I have a grandfather, but he is no longer living. He died about 18 years ago when my son Justin was a baby. Um Christmas and Thanksgiving have always been one of my I don't they're my favorites. And the one big reason being is because um, we always got to go, we always went over to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving. And, they would always come to our house for Christmas. So, when they both passed away, because my grandfather died first, and then like 6 weeks later, my grandmother died from a broken heart. Um, and lately we weren't always, even him, we weren't, the greatest. We didn't get along there for a while, especially right till the end. But, they wanted me there when they died, except for my grandmother because, she had, but because I was on her, what do you call it? List to call, next of kin list to call if something happened. Well, and of course, that my dad was on it also. And well, anyway, so um, when I found out that, he was going to die, I kind of, it didn't really bother me the first year that, we celebrated Christmas and all that. It didn't really bother me so much. And, it bothered my dad more. And I get why it bothered my dad more, because that was his dad. And so, it didn't bother me so much. And I think, I can't even remember now, because it's been, like I said, it's been 18 years. But it didn't, I think it really, really hit me hard. It didn't bother me so much on Thanksgiving as it did Christmas. Now, mind you, Christmas and Thanksgiving, you know, always the same thing. The family, my grandparents and my sisters and my dad and I and my mother would always, be together. If we weren't at one house, we were at another. And every, you know, Christmas, my grandparents would show up here, and especially, early in the morning, right before we get up, so that way we didn't rush downstairs when to see the presents that Santa brought before, having breakfast or whatever. They'd be kind of the barrier between, the living room and, and I'm going to cry because this is the part that, sorry guys. Um, anyway, every year my grandfather and my grandmother had a tradition. And but I never knew it was my grandfather until I was older. But I would always find um a small box of, I forget what kind they were. It's the yellow box. I forget what it's called. I can't even remember the name. Um, I want to say Weissman's. I can't remember. It's just nothing but chocolate. And it would always be in our Christmas stocking. And that's what I would get. And my sisters would get something else. And I don't really remember what they would get. But yeah. So as we got older, I think, my grandfather realized that I didn't like those chocolates. And he knew that I had a thing for Reese's peanut butter cups and um, Hershey Kisses. Well, I never got the Reese's peanut butter cups, which is fine. I found out later why. He had to choose, and because he didn't, my parents told him, he can't, they weren't going to allow me to have both at one time. So he made the choice. And like I said, I had no clue that he was doing this until I was old enough to recognize his handwriting. And, every year from, I can't even remember. I think I was like age 6 or 7. I would always get, you know, this in my stocking with a card that says to, Jennifer, Merry Christmas from Santa. And if, I never recognized the handwriting, of course, because, I never really saw my grandfather write until I was older. And when I found out that it was him, I was kind of like, oh my God. So the first year after he died, which he died, gosh, I think it was November. Yeah, it was November. It was right around Thanksgiving. This time 18 years ago. And it still bothers me today, so, bear with me. And after he died, I didn't know that he always did this. I had no idea it was him. So my dad found, I guess my grandmother told him. I don't remember. I really don't. And he Christmas came around, and when you start getting something every year, the same thing every year, and like the Hershey Kisses, it's automatic. You're gonna expect it. You're gonna know. And I always knew, you know, that I was gonna get them. So when that year came and I didn't get them, my dad pulled me into his office. Oh boy, sorry guys. My dad pulled me into his office and he told me, he handed me a bag of Hershey Kisses. And he said, I just want you to know that I found out who's been giving you Hershey Kisses every Christmas. And I just looked at him and I said, who? And he said, your grandfather. Well, I was done. And um so it's kind of hard now this year because I don't get them. And I got them, forever and a day. And so it's kind of, that was one tradition that always stood up and that I never knew existed because I always thought they came from Santa Claus. Even when I was an adult, I figured they came from Santa Claus. just so you know, I still believe in Santa Claus. So, yeah. Okay, give me just a second. I need to pause, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I apologize. I get broken up like that, and then I have to step away. I'm sorry. So, it was a tradition that I didn't even know, kind of came from our family, and I had no clue that, my grandfather was doing that. And it just kind of, it doesn't bother me so much today. Granted, yes, I did break down a couple of times during this, but it doesn't bother me so much today as it did back then because, it's been 18 years that he's gone, and I get it. And, I've learned to kind of, I don't want to say move on, but I've moved on from that. I'm not the little kid anymore that I was. But, I still have my moments where I can sit here and remember certain things, or my son Justin will do a hand movement or make some kind of face that my grandfather would make, and then I'm done. There is just that's yeah. I don't know how to explain it. So there are times that, and I don't really, this is when I thought about doing these videos for, the holiday videos every week, I knew that, it was a possibility I was going to be talking about my grandfather and Christmas and so forth and so on. I don't normally talk about that because, it's hard. As you noticed earlier, I kind of broke down a couple of times. Um, the reason being is about 30 years ago, we kind of fell out of, I don't even, we kind of fell out of touch with each other. Our relationship kind of broke down, and it was both my grandparents' fault and my fault. And I think that's one reason why it's really, really hard for me because, we kind of never, fixed it, I guess, because the last time that I saw my grandfather was in a hospital bed, and me telling him goodbye. So, it just, it kind of tugs at my heartstrings because, I know, but it's like my grandmother told me, he forgives you, I forgive you, and, please don't be upset about it, and, please carry on, all of my traditions and so forth. And I've tried, and it's not always easy to remember every single flipping tradition that your grandparents and your parents taught you because, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but when it comes to, you know, I'm one of these ones that wants to start their own traditions. Granted, yes, I like having, some of the traditions that my parents and grandparents, had. But on the other hand, I want to be able to have my own also that my kids can, pass down to their family, if that makes any sense. Don't ask me. So we kind of do and don't. I mean, like when decorating the tree, it's, Miranda and Justin, Miranda and Skylar, that's their little, tradition job, whatever you call it, that they have. And, um, of course, Justin, you know, he's just a big party pooper. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, that's, he's a big party pooper. So when, I didn't want to kind of take, I just didn't want to be like my grandparents. I guess that's what you want to say. And not saying that's a bad thing. I don't think my sisters have any, I don't think my sisters do that. I don't know. I mean, um, we've never really, discussed it because, we don't talk to each other either. So it's kind of like, and I've asked my parents, I've even asked my dad, do we have to take, do we have to be like grandma and grandpa and, do these traditions? And at first he was kind of hurt that I asked that question. And I told him, I said, Daddy, I said, it's not that I don't want to. I said, but I don't want to copy every single one. I don't want to take every single one and, I just don't want to do that. So they're not doing that. Okay, what was that? I don't know. My son's playing a video game. So this year, I'm trying to come up with a tradition that, even that Justin will participate in. That's funny, right? So I've been sitting here the last couple of days trying to figure, something out that they can, that he can participate in. And I can't get him, we used to watch movies together. We all used to sit down and watch movies together. So I think I'm going to try to bring that back into play because, we all used to sit and watch, you know, Christmas movies and, it was, we always had fun. So I'm going to, you know, I know Justin probably won't because some of those movies that we used to watch when he was little, he won't watch now. So, it's going to be one of those, um, one of those things. We're going to have to figure that out. And we're going to have to come up with something. So, um, I do know there's one tradition that I did keep that my parents, hang on, Sky, Sky. I got to pause you guys again. Okay. Sorry about that. He had a video game up way too loud. Okay. Um anyway, I do have one tradition that I've kind of kept that my parents and I always or parents and my parents and my sisters and I always did was we would either make cookies or mom would go and buy cookies specifically for Santa Claus and put them out on a plate, one or two or however many, and with a glass of milk. And then they would Santa Claus would have it for the end of the night. So that's one tradition that me and the kids keep up. Not so much Justin, but that he's helped put the cookie on. So I guess you could say he does. But I'm trying really hard now to not have him ruin Santa Claus for Skylar. And because he's tried telling Skylar that Santa Claus doesn't exist. And I've had to basically bop him in the back of the head a couple of times. And last year, Skylar and I were putting um, Christmas cookies on a plate, and he came in and he looked at Skylar and he said, "What are they for?" Or looked at me and asked me what they were for. And I said, "They're for Santa Claus." And of course, he came out and he's like, "You mean for you?" And I said, "Don't even." And Skylar looked at me and I said, "No, Sky." I said, "They're for Santa." And you know, he kind of got upset because Justin said that there wasn't a Santa Claus. So it's one of those things, guys. And until, he tells me, until he doesn't stop, until he stops believing, I'm going to keep, going with that whole, because truthfully, I still believe in Santa Claus. So, and I'm 50 years old. So, we shall see. So, anyway, um, mm, but other than that, guys, I think that's it because there's not a whole lot to talk about this week. Um, except for, the kids. Whoops, my thing's not picking up. Except for, everybody's doing their own thing this year, and um, I'm just gonna relax and not like do a whole bunch of stuff because, it's me and Sky. And then this weekend, we're going to get the house ready for Christmas. And oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. So, and I may do a video showing you guys my Christmas decorations. I don't know yet. I mean, granted, they're not, a whole lot in the world, but I don't have my whole entire living room house decorated. It's just one room, my living room, basically. And so we'll see. We'll see. I haven't decided. Gotta figure that out. I mean, I would like to do a video, but I don't know if y'all would like, if y'all would like to see that. That would be, So, okay. What are some of your Thanksgiving, Christmas traditions that you guys like? You know, that you guys have shared and passed down, and what have you with, that you do with your children, or what have you. And I'm trying to find this car. Where is it? See, they didn't they didn't give me a extra inventory sheet. I thought they did. I had to search. Believe me, I thought I threw it away. And no, there wasn't an extra one, so I have to search. And so, what are some of your traditions that you have for Christmas, for Thanksgiving? Um, you guys can comment below, and I can, because I think it would be neat. I want to see what everybody does. That's different. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Um, gosh, I think that's it, guys. I feel like there's more that I should talk about. Um, Good grief. Oh, totally off topic of, Christmas, even though this is about Christmas. And whoops, why do I got it here? I've been trying to, um, as you guys know, I have one, two, three, four paintings going. And I'm trying to find a place to put them when I'm not working on them. So yeah, it's been interesting because my room, and I only have this little itty bitty space in my room. So it's kind of hard when um when you're trying to figure out what to do. So hopefully, being this is kind of a snack size, I can get a lot done on this. I mean, I'm doing pretty good so far. There's confetti, but there's not. So, yeah, it is pretty good. I do know I want to get a bigger one, a bigger painting, bigger Christmas painting, but I think I'm gonna, if I get it, I'm gonna wait and then, do it for next year because I want to finish the ones I have, and then I want to get um and then I'll start working on one of those because yeah. Uh, and I didn't know I have one that I want to, um, it's a Hade, and I know I can't remember, I've got to find the company that does this, but there's a company that I can get the canvas from that specifically is with, oh gosh, bless it, that specifically deals with, heaven and earth, and they are like, they're licensed to do their charts as diamond paintings. So I need to figure it out, and then I'm seriously considering getting one or two that I want as a diamond painting, especially a Christmas one. There's a Christmas one that I have, Christmas chart that I have that I want to um, have them do. Uh, yeah, as a diamond painting. So that's one thing I really, really want to save up for. Because, oh, yeah. So, and in case you guys are asking, I did, this was bought with donations to my channel. I do have an affiliate link for Paint with Diamonds that is listed in the description. Um, and what, little commission I get from that, if, right now I haven't, but anyway, that is used to put back into my channel. There is a Color Street party link. If it doesn't work, please let me know. I will, fix that. There are Christmas nail strips that are available right now, and holiday nail strips. So, if you like Color Street and you're, please go and check it out. My Facebook, I think my Facebook group is down there. And um, that's it, basically. And I just wanted to give you guys that information before I forget it, because I will. Oh my gosh, I'm getting to that point now. I really need to do something about remembering. I mean, I can remember stuff, but I'm getting to that point. So, anyhow, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching and, listening to me ramble on and break down about Christmas and so forth. So, until next time, I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. And until next week, make every day a crafty one, and you guys have a great Thanksgiving.